coming in hot, Chinch.
Coming in hot. Coming in. Wait, tilt down a little bit. For some reason, I look taller than you right now. Tilt your camera a little bit.
Really? All right.
Yeah. Chinch can't be taller than Sean Casey.
How about now?
Yeah, there you go. Now you look bigger and stronger. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh,
Yeah,
Chinch can't be taller.
It's impossible.
So good.
You got like 9 inches on me. Dude, you're running around like crazy today. You got people in your house. You're going to breakfast.
Dude, my cold plunge is down. I had to call my buddy Nate, who's the greatest plumber in the freaking in the country, I believe.
Yeah.
He came over to take a look at my plunge pool, cold tub. The pump, it's down. I got to call plunge now to get that taken care of. And we just got action, dude. Action all over the place. I took my daughters to get coffee this morning, which I love.
I love that. That's great. Dude.
I always get the chai tea latte though. What do you get?
They hang out. Do they hang out together when they're home? They're different ages.
Oh yeah, no, they hang out. They're buddies. They're buddies. They're a couple years apart. They're like 4 years apart, but they're buddies. Yeah, and Jilly doesn't have school today.
Nice.
For whatever reason. So yeah, Carly just got a job at a restaurant. So yeah, action. There's action, dude. There's action.
A lot of action. Hey,
and I'm also heading to see Kent State Thursday night. We got the MAC tournament starting.
Woo. Hey, shout out to your boy's son, my alma mater, player of the year in the Ivy League, dude.
Oh yeah, Sam Miller.
Sam Miller,
dude. Incredible.
First team to punch the ticket. Columbia University, first team to punch a ticket to the NCAA tournament, bro.
Oh, they're in?
Yeah.
Wait, they won that? Wait, the Ivy League tournament's over?
It's over, dude. They got it.
Oh, good for them, dude. That's going to be great.
Roar, Lions, roar.
I love it, dude. Sammy Miller, baby, dominated this season. Good little player. Great player, man. Great player.
Yeah. Now, that's one team in New York that's very excited right now. The Knicks are excited right now. Yankees doing great. We have more Juan Soto drama. We got to play the hits. I'm sorry. This isn't New York centric, y'all. Yeah. This is the most highly paid baseball player in the history of baseball.
This is a big headline.
Big headline. I'm going to take it from Michael Kay, who is the voice of the New York Yankees. Has been there for a long time. Sean Casey knows him well.
Yes, love Michael Kay.
Okay, here's what he said. This is a recent report from the Yankees play-by-play announcer. Michael Kay confirms that Soto wanted to be with the Yankees, but it was not money that made him sign with the Mets. It was his family. The report came after sources inside the clubhouse of the Mets described Soto as, quote, glum. Here's Kay's quote. It comes down to this. I'll say it now and it will be denied. Of course, it has to be denied. But I have talked to people that I respect. He, as in Soto, wanted to return to the Yankees. That was his preference. His family said, you are going to the Mets. His family felt very comfortable around Alex and Steve Cohen, and they said, quote, you are going to the Mets, and he's a guy that listens to his family. It's drama right now. Right now in Queens.
Wow. A lot of drama. Well, you just know, listen, if you're in New York, if you leave the Yankees where you had a perfect situation, they offered you $760 million, you're in that little bit of the shadow of Aaron Judge, so you don't need to be the guy, and you leave there to go to the crosstown rival, the Mets, and at the end of the day, you did it for the money. I think that's the biggest thing, which is fine. You should do it for the money. But leaving the New York Yankees, dude, there's something different about wearing those pinstripes. There really is, man. Wearing those pinstripes, if that's the place that wants you for a long time, that's a tough one to just pass up, even if it's less money.
Yeah.
So I think right now the bottom line is if you're hitting well and you're doing well and you're dominating, no one's saying anything. But if you're hitting 240, you're a couple of things play there today where it's not really hustling out of the box, and now we got saying that Carlos Mendoza's got to talk to him about hustle. Like at the end of the day, if you're just the way it goes, Chance, if you're the highest paid player, you set the standard for how everybody else plays. If you want to win championships, you set a standard. So, they say Juan Soto is one of the best workers out there, so that's that standard. But, I think I just think back to a whole thing with like something happened with his family back. They were talking about the security guard or something said something to his mom or whatever. Like, I think that's a big thing in the Latino community as far as respect goes and that stuff. So I obviously don't know the insides here. Michael Kay is a very reputable guy too that probably does have some information that we don't have. So, no one's gonna say, yeah, that's what happened. Juan Soto would never say that. But the bottom line is you can just look at how happy he was in New York, dude. There was a smile on Juan Soto's face. He was so excited to be a Yankee. How many times did he have quotes changed that said, these are the best guys I've ever been around? I mean, Aaron Judge sets a standard in that clubhouse that everybody has a role. Everybody's special. Everybody, we need everybody in here to win this thing. And when you're a part of that kind of culture change, man, that feels good, dude. That feels real good. So, I'm sure the culture with the Mets is great. Carlos Mendoza is a great leader. Lindor's a good guy. I heard Alonso's a good guy. There's good guys there. But at the end of the day, I must admit, when you're watching Soto play, you don't see that same vibrant guy that
dancing in a batter's box. Look, to your point, 246, 8 homers, 20 RBIs, according to Baseball Reference, 1.6 WAR. Your WAR's got to be through the. You have to for the money you're getting paid. It is
what it is.
Storm of major market media. Highest paid guy goes to the crosstown rival. Like, if you were going to write a bad guy story, this is the story to write. Again, if he's hitting 346, like, Freddie Freeman is over in LA right now, this is not a conversation. I don't think it's a conversation. I don't think we're even talking about it.
Right. If he's living up to the contract, we're not talking about it. And I think he's going to get hot at some point. I mean, he goes on those tears. But at the end of the day, dude, his situation, it's almost careful what you wish for, and also too, so a lot of times the grass is greener where you water it. The grass isn't always green on the other side. So if you and so all I'm saying is I don't have any insider information like Michael K. All I have is my eyeballs. When I see Juan Soto as a Yankee last year, looks so different as a Met. Now, to Juan Soto's defense, Juan Soto got off to an incredible start last year with the Yankees. Came out the gates in April, big hits, walk-offs, making throws from the outfield, home runs. Everyone's all excited. Judge, remember how bad Judge was last April?
Yes.
Ended up winning the MVP, but everyone's like, "Oh, Juan Soto, he's saving the Yankees."
Yep.
And then Judge became the MVP. Oh, wait, we got the greatest person in the universe still in the lineup. Okay, he's doing it. So, and this year is the opposite. Besides, the big deal comes out in April. Dude, those numbers are good numbers.
Right.
For a good player.
Right.
This guy is paid as the greatest player in the league, so that's why it's unacceptable.
You got to think he's going to figure it out.
He's going to get it going, dude. He's made the lineup better.
Yes.
I mean, Lindor's off to a hot start, which he usually isn't, and Alonso's off to one of the best starts in the big leagues. So Soto has a part of that. You got Lindor, Soto, Alonso. You're better off with Juan Soto in your lineup.
Right. Exactly. Now, speaking of good signings. Philadelphia Phillies in 2022 got a guy named Kyle Schwarber, who has been everything and maybe even more. Home runs. He had 38 home runs with the Cubs one year, 30 home run guy. His time with the Phillies, starting in 2022, 46 bombs led baseball. 2023, 47 bombs. 2024, 38 bombs. This year, 2025, he now has 16 homers, 36 RBIs, and he is now a member of the 300 home run club. What a player.
Incredible, dude. First off, congrats to Schwarbs out there. What a great guy. You want to talk about a leader. This guy is the leader out there in Philly, and I believe he's going to stay in Philly. I believe Dave Dombrowski is not, dumb as far as, like, he knows what he's looking at. He knew what he was looking at when he signed him. So I think that's a huge thing. And one thing about Schwarbs, man, this is just a lesson too, I think, to a lot of the analytics stuff out there and a lot of the managers and front office. Like, Schwarber became a platoon guy, out with the Nationals, I believe, even in Chicago at times. Good for the Phillies and Rob Thompson and Dave Dombrowski and those guys to be like, you know what, dude? You're going to play against lefties. And he had a couple years where he really struggled. He's one of the best left-handed hitters against lefties now, too. Shout out to Kevin Long, who's just the best hitting coach in the world doing his thing. But Schwarber, the reason he's putting up these numbers, Chinch, is because he's become better against lefties. It's making him a better overall hitter. Now you're hitting that righty sinker. You're staying on it. When you face lefty on lefty, that front shoulder's got to stay in a little longer. The hand's got to work a little later, right? And I think that makes you a better hitter. I know for me it did. So when I'm watching Schwarber now, I'm like, yeah, he's a better hitter. Why is he a better hitter? Because he continued to play against lefties and they left him in there, and he started to figure it out last year and rake lefties. Now he's one of the best hitters against lefties. He hit his 300th home run against a lefty, 466 feet, absolute bomb. That's the only thing Schwarber's hits is absolute bomb. So, What a great guy for the game, the way he plays it, who he is as a man. Dude, that's the biggest thing. Chinch, be a good teammate. I remember Mike Piazza saying that as far as like the hustle goes. I'm like, Mike, how do you play here in New York? He's like, dude, you just got to hustle, be 100% all out, and the fans will respect you. In New York. He said that to me at first base one time. Man, I just play as hard as I can, and, the fans respect that,
That makes sense.
And the other thing is, be a good teammate. Treat those guys well. It comes across to the fans, too. Perception's reality, man. Have a smile on your face. Treat the fans right. Sign some autographs, stuff like that. So, at the end of the day, Kyle Schwarber's everything that's good about baseball, man.
Love it. I agree with that. And now your Philadelphia Phillies started off a little slow. They are 29-18, a half game up on the New York Mets in the National League East.
Yeah. Good team, man. And Nola hasn't even gotten going.
There you go. All right, I got a fan question for you, Casey.
What do you got?
Suggestion, and this is from our boy Reaper6. Two X's. Yeah, on our YouTube page, which you all can subscribe to. Big Orioles fan here. I would love to get Casey's take on what is wrong with the Orioles in a future pod, and what they can do to fix it. I feel sorry for Hyde, got canned. He took the blame for Elias. So, they've been one of the teams to beat in the American League, especially in the American League East over the last couple of years. They're 15-31, Sean. Wow. And wait, hold on. I got some stats here for my boy.
Yeah, give me some stats.
10th worst in the major leagues in team OPS. Here's what's bad. Second worst team ERA in Major League Baseball.
Bing, 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 bing. There it is, dude.
Yep.
You don't pitch in the big leagues, you're going to get crushed. That's just the bottom line. Corbin Burns was a big deal for them last year. They finally traded for a horse. He was in that, in that mix. They've had a bunch of injuries. Eflin's, he gave up. Hasn't had a great year in that rotation. Jackson Holliday's done pretty well, but Mountcastle's got a 605 OPS. Last year he raked. Henderson's coming back from that injury. He's kind of getting things going, but he's been an average player. Adley Rutschman's got a 641 OPS. They just have a lot of question marks in that lineup. Heston Kjerstad's been struggling with a 612 OPS. So, they're not hitting and they're not pitching, and that's the bottom line. And is that Brandon Hyde's fault? I don't think so, dude. And they loves Brandon Hyde. Brandon Hyde, I love Heidi. Hyder's a great guy. He's been a great manager there. I think he's great with people, a great communicator. And I just think he took the blame for not putting together a good team, not spending money in the offseason, dude. They let Corbin Burns walk, and they never really got, Charlie Morton has really struggled since going over there. The pitching just hasn't been good. They've been banged up injury-wise. But at the end of the day, you got to look at the front office too and say, did they do enough to put pieces around that young talent? And obviously, when you're 15-31, the scorecard says no. And I don't think – but the problem is when you're the manager, you're hired to get fired. And like the Pirates, Derek Shelton. I mean, you just don't win ball games. Someone's got to pay. The owner's not firing himself.
Right.
Gonna
happen. Yeah. One other thing too, offensively, playing in that ballpark, especially too, you gotta by this point in the season, you probably need a couple guys with double digit homers, and you can't have Cedric Mullins being your leading home run hitter right now with 10. By the way, really great player, but you got Rushman's got 4, Holiday's got 6. There's a lot of double digit homers in this league, and they only got one guy. So here you go.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You got to be able to hit the ball at the ballpark in that, especially in that ballpark. So, they're not playing good baseball.
There you go.
You're 15-31. You're losing every. Basically, that means you're losing every series. You're losing 2 out of every 3 games.
Yeah.
That means you're not usually probably doing it on the bump. And what would you say? Their second worst team ERA.
Yeah.
There's your stat.
That's it.
All you need to know. Who's first? Who's the first worst?
Let's go. Hold on.
Can you get that for me, Chance? I'm putting you to work, bro.
I like this. I like it. All right, hold on. Pitching stat leaders. ERA. Whip. Where the frick? Oh, there we go. ERA. Come on, pull it up. Ooh, Colorado Rockies. So that's
There you
like
go. So the worst team in baseball is the Colorado Rockies. They're the worst pitching staff. One of the second worst teams in the game is the Orioles. They have the give me the other teams.
Marlins,
There you go. Marlins,
Nationals,
Nationals.
A's, surprisingly, but they're hitting the ball all over the ballpark. And then Angels.
But the A's are still A's are still 4 under. See what I'm saying? Like
No, you're
you're
right.
naming all the worst teams in baseball. And
That's
the bottom
true.
line is for all the fans out there, you could. That's why when the Angels used to have the 2 best players in the universe, and Trout and Ohtani, they never went to the postseason because they had the worst pitching.
There you go. Also, whip third worst in Major League Baseball for the Orioles. A lot of bad stats. Anyway, all right. We're on a Tuesday. You get all your errands done now. Can you relax with the family for the
I'm
rest?
all done. Yeah. I'm about to cook up a nice little steak, real nice,
Nice.
for lunch. And
I like that.
I'm excited about that.
I had a banana with some peanut butter just now. It was really good.
Oh man, I love that, dude. Dude, you know what I had last night? Dates. I cut up some dates. Put a banana in them.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it was so good, dude.
There you go. All right. Everybody go. You're probably hungry after listening.
Yeah, man. Hey, everyone else, have a great rest of your day. Please, thanks for listening. Subscribe and download if you can, because that helps us. And Chinchy, I love you, brother.
Love you
Catch
too.
you tomorrow, man. See ya.
See ya.